Okay, Saturn fellas. So, in today's, this week's video, I'm going to be talking about 5, Pokemon that I think can be really good, like, into the meta. 5, like, anti-meta, sort of anti-meta. Some of them are just bad but fun. Well, I guess not. A lot of them can be pretty good into the meta. So, so before I make myself sound even dumber, let's just get into it. So, first of all, is gonna be Frigoref, right? I think Frigoref is a solid, like, B tier Pokemon right now. And that's because priority is everywhere. There's things like Extreme Speed from Arcanine. There's things like Jet Punch on Palafin. There's things like Ice Shard on Baxcalibur. There's also Sucker Punch on Chien-Pao. You know, a lot of priority. So, with priority being everywhere, a very, very bulky Pokemon that blocks priority sounds very good right now, and in practice, I've been using it. In practice, it works. There's a few different moves it can use. Hyper Voice is basically a staple if you run Throat Spray. There's also Psychic. It can also run Psy Shock if you want to do well into main. There's also Dazzling Gleam. You can go Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam and get the stab boost from that, but also it's just a good like spread move. The thing with Dazzling Gleam is that you are kind of like screwed over by Wide Guard though, which is why I kind of like Psy Shock right now. Because with the Throat Spray boost, that's Amoonguss doesn't like that. Yeah, it also likes Safety Goggles. Right now, I just think Throat Spray is the best on it. With Frigoref, you compare it. It pairs well with Iron Hands to get Trick Room up. It pairs well with Flutter Mane to stop Flutter Mane from getting hit by Sucker Punch and Jet Punch. It pairs well with Chi-Yu because Chi-Yu doesn't like Jet Punch. It doesn't like Extreme Speed when it's on low. It also likes Amoonguss because you can just redirect stuff away from the Frigoref. So overall, Frigoref I think went on the right team. Like, it's because it's not just relegated to just Trick Room. It can go further than that because on fast teams you can go like if you say you lead Talonflame and Garchomp, and let's say the opponent leads Arcanine and Palafin. What you can do then is you can switch in the Frigoref that's in the Garchomp space, predicting that the opponent will Extreme Speed the Talonflame and then Jet Punch it to make sure you get Tailwind off. So it can work well there. It can also pair well like with Garchomp because, you know, big spread, big damage. That's a pretty basic explanation. So I think that's about what I'm gonna say about Frigoref. Oh, just one more thing. Trick Room can be pretty good because a lot of the good Pokemon right now really don't like Trick Room because there's Fast Main, there's Chi-Yu, specifically Scarf Chi-Yu, there's Bundle, there's Chien-Pao. A lot of them don't like Trick Room, and Frigoref completely screws them over. So next is going to be Abomasnow, and theoretically, like in theory, this Pokemon can be really, really good into, you know, just the general meta right now. Because, first of all, a lot of the meta is very like, physical attacking based. You know, things like Arcanine, Palafin, Baxcalibur, Chien-Pao, Tinglu, things like that. And Abomasnow can basically take out all of like the big meta stuff because resists Palafin, immune to Spore and Rage Powder from Amoonguss. Not like that matters because you have the 100% accurate spread Blizzards anyway. Yeah, Bax doesn't like it too much. Tinglu certainly doesn't like it. Chien-Pao doesn't want to take a Giga Drain from it. You know, Chi-Yu doesn't want to take an Earth Power. It's really good, and because it's 90, 85, 75, which doesn't seem too stellar until you realize that defense is boosted by 1.5 times in the snow. So not only is it hitting hard, but it's also bulky as well. So a problem for it is Arcanine, but Arcanine is why you run Terra Water. There's a few different items it can run. It can run Weakness Policy, and also on the next set, it can run Light Clay, because you can run Energy Ball, Blizzard. You don't have to run Earth Power, and you don't have to run Energy Ball. You can like switch those out for Protect if you want. But Aurora Veil can make it and your team like really, really bulky. But sometimes you may not even need that, because you can just sweep everything. Like, especially if you get like the Weakness Policy boost off of like, let's say a Drain Punch from Annihilate, or like if you Terra Water, like a Giga Drain from Wo-Chien, or a Pollen Puff from an Amoonguss if you don't Terra. So, yeah, Abomasnow can be really, really threatening right now, and I don't think enough people are using it. So, yeah, Abomasnow, first of all, it pairs well with, you know, it pairs well with Iron Bundle, because the whole double Blizzard thing, because Bundle also gets Aurora Veil, stuff like that. It also goes well into Trick Room. It goes well with stuff like Iron Hands. It also pairs well with Bronzong. Now, Bronzong, I'm not going to mention Bronzong like in the 5 different mons, but I feel like Bronzong is really good right now if you pair it with like someone like Choice Band Tinglu with Earthquake. Because you get Trick Room up, nothing's living, everything dies and there's nothing they can do about it, and you will ruin their day and they will cry. So, moving on, there is Gastrodon. Now, what Gastrodon does is completely wall Palafin. You know, you get the Jet Punch, you get the Wave Crash, and a lot of Palafin are going for Taunt now, but you know, they also run Haze, and they don't run any attacking move that isn't a Water-type move, so, you know, kinda self-explanatory. Terrafire allows you to resist Moonblast from Fluttermane. It allows you to resist a lot of stuff from Chi-Yu that you already resisted in the first place. It allows you to resist Grass-type moves, so stuff like Giga Drain, Energy Ball. But mainly, it lets you resist Iron Bundle's Freeze Dry, because that's pretty big. And there are a few items you can run. You can run Covert Cloak if you don't want to die to Salt Cure. It can run Leftovers if you want to be even bulkier. But what I like to run is Safety Goggles, so that it completely walls balance. Because, you know, Muddy Water, Earth Power for Arcanine, walls Palafin, Amoonguss can't do anything to it, resists Fluttermane, Bax certainly doesn't like it, so, yeah, Tinglu doesn't like it, Chien-Pao doesn't like it, Chi-Yu doesn't like it. If it runs Ice Beam, then Wo-Chien certainly isn't a fan of it. Neither is Roaring Moon. If you run Earth Power, Iron Hands doesn't like it too much. You don't even need to run Clear Smog. You can run like you can run Recover. Yawn's also an option. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good mon. Personally, I haven't tested it myself, but I've seen other people testing it, and they're getting some success with it. Next is going to be Mimikyu. Now, I think Mimikyu is very underutilized right now, because first of all, it can like, you know, it can tank a hit because of Disguise, but also, Fluttermane certainly doesn't want to take a Shadow Sneak, and nothing big right now wants to take a Terra Fairy Life Orb play rough from this thing. Mimikyu is kind of a menace right now, and I don't think enough people are seeing that fact. So, You know, bit of a short one, but like Mimikyu's kind of self-explanatory. So the last mon I'm going to talk about today is Jumpluff. Now, this may make me look insane, and that's because I kind of am. But when you think about it, that's not how you spell Torkoal. You can run this thing next to Torkoal, right? Like on a Sun team, along with some stuff like Fluttermane, or something like Great Tusk especially, and it's 110 speed, boosted by Chlorophyll, so that's, like, if you combine that with Sleep Powder, that's like one of the fastest sleeps in the game. It's also a super fast Tailwind, a super fast Pollen Puff, and a super fast Rage Powder, which are all incredible support moves. Its bulk isn't too bad either, 75, 70, 95. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. It also gets a very fast Encore, but I think it works best as a Sun team only support one. Like, you wouldn't run this thing without Sun, but it gets other support moves. It gets stuff like Encore. I already said Encore. Hang on. Yeah, I think I've already mentioned the main stuff it gets, but you know, fast sleep, redirection. It's basically a Sun Among Us. If you want to get into semantics, it's like a Sun, very, very fast Among Us. So I think that's gonna be it for today. Thanks for 5 watch. Bye.